I know there's a lot of real estate developers here. Some are smaller, some are bigger. And then getting your first win and raising that money is important. But then does it seem to get easier or does it seem to just keep on the same thing going over and over trying to raise money? Does it actually get easier as you get on?
It helps. Definitely helps. But I think with everything that has been happening, especially in the Web3 space, I think more and more VCs are getting more mature and there's less FOMO. So it's just more into the in-depth due diligence. And I think every time you think about fundraising for startups and innovation, especially in an industry which is in its very early days, like Web3, still some aspects are always like stronger, like the team experience of the team, how long this team's been working together, rather than like individual wins or accomplishments that the team's made throughout the short term of its career. We've been watching some of the like most prominent founders, former, Forbes 30 under 30, turn into actually disasters, right? So it's like, well, some wins, they never really guarantee you anything, right? So we're really excited about Ekta, and we're actually taking Ekta with us as like a case that we want to push forward and be with you guys, because it's a very interesting mix of great features that made you guys score a very high score in our like scoring matrix analysis. So the team is a very experienced team. I think Berwin as a founder is a very important figure there, because like you usually get like 20-year-old guys or girls founding companies that are very idealistic, and they have no experience, right? They've never built a company before. They've barely dealt with money throughout their life. So you say, oh my God, I'm gonna write like $1 million check to that kid. That's risky, right? And we're dealing like, as Helion Ventures has been doing pre-seed, seed stage funding in emerging markets in Web3. So like we're the kind of investment vehicle that is like stacking up risk on top of risk. So the whole bundle that Ekta offers, I think it's a lot more value than those small wins or little accomplishments that you can actually maybe think that it's going to help you sell yourself.
Amazing. Berwin, I want to ask you a question. Rodrigo is talking about funding companies, and you've had to do the hard yards. You've had success early in your career at a young age, raising money. But then how's it been with Ekta Real Estate and being in like a Web3 scenario, but then we also have real world assets? What's some advice that you would have to give everyone to go through on how to like try and actually just find a VC and those types of things?
The first thing the VC would ask me is, are you a one-man team? So I say no, because normally if you're a one-man team, I highly doubt that the VC will invest in you. It needs to be a collective effort from all founders. It's not easy to do a startup, especially from 0 to 1. Fortunately, this initiative, Ekta Real Estate, is incubated by Ekta Chain already. So we already have a team of really brilliant people here. So yeah, that's the first thing that VC would ask, are you alone or are you doing this as a team? A few other things they check is really like the maturity of the team as well. That's the reason why Helion is a venture studio. They would like to write checks to founders, even young ones, and make sure that they guide them through from 0 to 1. If they need help, like in incorporating an office, opening a bank account in Dubai, they can do that. If they need, a chief operating officer, they can, find one for you. So that's really important. It's not only the idea, it's also the team and especially the execution. So I'm very fortunate to have a really brilliant team. I've never seen one like this before. I've been an entrepreneur for 27 years, and this is like my second win. I'm almost 50 years old now, and I'm more excited. I wake up in the morning every day and get so excited I can't even sleep at night because I can't wait for the next day.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Berwin. Now let's get into the tech. We have Jay. Jay is another name. Josh. I don't know which. We call you so many different names now.
I'm known by many names.
Yeah. So let's talk about tech. Is the current tech in traditional real estate, is it outdated? Is it keeping up enough? Or is the tech within Thailand something that is really needed right now for us to excel and move on to the next step of evolution in the real estate industry?
Okay, so is it outdated? Sometimes I think tech moves so fast that it make things around it appear to be slow. So I don't want to say that it's outdated. There's so many advancements in the property tech space outside of blockchain. But in relation to blockchain, if we look at that specifically, things that smart contracts can do, tokenization, things that can be done there, and also being able to have security and transparency. When you mix all of those things together, we've got a lot of automation for previously manual processes. And when you combine blockchain with other innovations in AI and, let's say, geospatial systems or even drone scanning technology, things like that, you're starting to see some amazing things happen, which eventually will be completely combined within one app.
A further question I have is, where we were in Saigon in Vietnam, and we went to the real estate event there.
I bet we're not talking about Saigon.
The PG version, yes. But you mentioned something about, Cam talked about it, Regina talked about the modular system, but you said something in a little bit more in depth on that video on when you will see either new tech or new ideas come along. The way that you've created the tech is a way that you can basically just plug into it so that we can continue to make this tech like good.
Because we've constructed it in a non-competitive way, but we understand that other products have unique selling points that they want to incorporate into the tech. So we've created it in a modular way that can absorb USBs quite rapidly. So does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Okay, last question is a question for everyone. So again, we have a lot of people here in the real estate industry here, from developers to investors, people who are maybe wanting to get into the industry. What's one word of advice for anyone who wants to enter the real estate industry? It could either be an investor, developer, maybe in tech, a real estate agent, maybe perhaps with your own experience. Berwin, do you want to start off with one piece of advice for everyone?
Location. Find a good location and then build on it. Because if you have a good location, a good position, that's already one thing to worry less about.
I think definitely choose the right project, even if it takes a bit longer. People all over the world developing, innovating, their new ideas in real estate coming up all the time. So you want to be sure you're kind of at the forefront of things. Just be very careful, plan it carefully, I would say. Choose the right project, make sure you're in line with the pulse of the world, so to speak. But we're living in an increasingly interconnected world. As we all know, we're all living in one big global village. So make sure you carefully evaluate what people are looking for, which is not always the case. It moves, it changes and evolves with each passing year. So just watch that.
I would say just as general advice is to stay up to date and maintain your integrity.
Well, I guess it works for all kinds of investments. Always do your own research, and timing. Timing is something very important. And real estate investment can be very challenging, but also very exciting. And it demands, like everything else, understanding. The more you understand what you're doing, the better you're gonna perform, right? And as in any capital markets or financial investments, timing is a very good thing. And I believe that in real estate is also the same thing. Ekta is going to provide for people all over the globe to investing in a global market. So that means that you can be sitting in Germany investing in a property development in Jakarta, and you've probably never been to Jakarta. What does that mean for you, right? Are you taking a piece of advice? Have you done your own research? Or do you understand what's going on there? Do you understand what's the yields that you're going to be getting? What's your goal, right? What's your strategy, right? And if you're not ready, if you haven't done your own research, out in the open, then better not cry later.
Awesome. Thank you so much for each and every one of you. We are going to now move on to the second panelist. So thank you once again, everyone. Put your hands together. Thank you.